Hey everyone, Sarah here. So I'm here to set up my spread for week 36, and I've been thinking a lot about productivity styles and my productivity styles. And y'all know hobonichis are releasing their new lineup, 2021 lineup in September, and I'm so torn on what to do. So anyhow, I am looking into really understanding my productivity style and what works for me, so I just don't waste any money stocking up on hobonichis because they're expensive, frankly. I just want to make sure that I'm using my money for what I want, what is useful. So if you want to follow me on my productivity journey and finding that planner that just works for me, hit the subscribe button, and if you like the video, hit the thumbs up. If you've been following for a while, you know that productivity is literally my job. Like, I'm a continuous improvement project manager, and I am working on taking those tools in my productivity work at work and incorporating them into my weekly planning sessions. Okay, so let's get into it and see how I set up this weekly spread. So here I'm just using that trigger list, and I'm going through basically my brain filing cabinet, if you will, and I'm running through this trigger list, and it's just, making me think of different things in different areas of my life and my professional life, and helping me jot down some of that never-ending to-do list that you always have in your head. And it's just like emptying the brain. It's more like a structured brain dump, if you will. So I'm just kind of digging in and putting all the things in there. And so I'm thinking of what projects I have active, what are my commitments for those, any presentations I have to go, any milestones. I'm looking at some of the commitments I have to my coworkers, to my team, and frankly to my family, any meetings that I have to set up. Anything like that, any of the things that you just start to be like, oh, I got to set up a meeting, or I got to pay that bill, or I got to call this person. So I'm just putting it all in that next action list. And that's just like a running to-do list to really kind of simplify it. I'm just going through. So it's broken down into two areas, professional and personal. And it's just customized bullet points that address the way you think in those areas of your life. Okay, so here I'm going through last week, my hobonichi cousin, and I'm just looking at my daily pages and identifying some of the things that I put in my inbox, in my paper inbox. And I'm a little bit struggling here because I've been wanting to do some bullet journaling because I really like the customization in that bullet journal. So I was approaching the hobonichi daily pages as if they were like a bullet journal spread, and my pens are not really working on the paper. So I love the paper, but it's like I'm just not digging how like the jelly rolls and the Tombows go on top of it and how you can layer them. And I just like that doodling because it's a way that I process my brain too when I'm thinking. So I'm feeling a little nervous, and I may not dive into the hobonichi cousin next year. So that's really what is driving my weekly spread setup. So keep watching. Okay, So I'm setting up my weekly spread, and you all, if you've been following, you know this is not my hobonichi cousin. So it's my bullet journal, and this is my work bullet journal. And I'm just playing with this a little bit because I'm really trying to figure out what I want to buy for next year. Because let me tell you, like in a few days, I was going to just dive in and buy everything in the hobonichi site basically and get all the things I need to set up my 2021 planner. And what I was thinking about, and again, like I said, I've been really digging into my productivity style. And what I love about the hobonichi is that weekly spread. And I think it's nice because I love it to see where my blocks of free time are and my blocks of busy time, and what days I have to, where I really have to prioritize digging into that next action list. But what I found was I was living in my daily pages, so I wasn't really referencing that weekly spread like I wanted to. And it wasn't being effective for me because I had to flip back to it and I wasn't really going back there. So I'm setting up my bullet journal spread, the weekly spread, to have that weekly view in a very small way, because I don't use that to drive like what meetings I go to and stuff. I use my phone for that, the majority. But I have that weekly spread so I can visually see where my free blocks of time are. And I'm also setting up a daily box to identify those daily top 3 that I have to do. And kind of like my tracking, my steps, my food, whatever. And I really am excited about this because I think it's going to really help me see the whole picture of the time and what I have to accomplish that week. So I'm really excited. The one thing I wasn't thinking of is I actually have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off, and I'm like, oh great, I had this epiphany, and now I'm not even working that week. But I am going to try to put a lot of time into Plan the Grind. Because if you noticed, I've been a little bit falling behind, which is with everything going on at work. Crazy times, people, crazy times. And so I'm really going to focus on getting some videos up, and I've been working on that productivity series. So check out my first video in that productivity series I put up last Monday, and my next one will be coming up this week. So be on the lookout for that. So anyhow, so you see the top buckets, and that's my Monday through Friday, and then I have a shared Saturday and Sunday, and then just a notes section. And I think I actually might tweak that a little more to be more of a tracker section. I don't know, we'll see. But the intention is that once I get into the week, my Monday, I'm going to put Monday date, and I'm just going to have like a running journal for that day. Then the next morning, Tuesday, running journal. Wednesday, running journal. So I'm just going to really oversimplify it. And I know it set it up here because it's actually Thursday, and I still had some days that I had to get through for this week, so I didn't set it up yet. But I know that I need that weekly view. I need to see how all the things are going to come into play with that weekly view. And I also need that area where I can take some notes in sections, because again, I'm running projects, I'm running teams, I'm working collaboratively, I'm working remotely. And a lot of times I need a paper-based system because I'm sharing my screen or running a meeting, and I'm like, I don't want everybody to see all my misspelling mistakes as I'm taking notes. They're like, you spelled it wrong. I'm like, we're not talking about my spelling. We're talking about the objective. So anyhow, so I'm just setting up that week. So the weekly overview, and then a daily block for those top 3 priorities and just anything I need to remember at home, work. And what I found was I had like all these planners going on, one for Plan the Grind, one for work, one for a bullet journal for home, a bullet journal for work. And frankly, it was just, I never had the right planner with me at the time I needed it. So I'm really trying to dive into just one book for one paper-based system. And frankly, I love the Electrum, so it's right here. I love this for some reason. It's like what I started with, so I think it's just what I'm used to. And the paper is not so thick that you don't get a lot of pages, but it's also thick enough so it's not tons of bleed through. But I'm really trying to drive just one area to do all the things in. So it might be a little hard for me to share some of the stuff with you in this, but I'll try to keep sharing how I set it up and how I'm using it as I can. So I'm curious, where are you mostly when you're like, oh my God, I wish I had my planner. Like where? Because me, I'm sitting on the couch and I'm like, oh, I wish I had this planner, and I have a different planner, or I don't have my regular journal, I have my work journal. So I'm like, where are you when you get that thought, like, oh my God, I wish I had my planner with me. Okay, so here I'm just really jumping into setting up the week, and again, I'm on vacation, so I just have like my Monday, Tuesday, I have a couple meetings, but it's actually, I'm in a training, so that's the majority of it. And then I'm going to take the rest of the week off, so I'm going to fill it in as I go, and I'm going to focus on a lot of plan the grind stuff. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this plan with me, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more of my productivity journey, if you will. So take care. Bye, everyone.